Alright, so in this video, we wanted to show you the annotation component of our multi-view systems, right? Because in the previous video, we showed you how we can handle these multi-view videos that are very important for robotics, among other applications, right? Where you have usually multiple cameras that are synchronized. And this is very important for, again, any sort of robotics data acquisition and processing. Now, again, I showed you quickly what the final product looks like, but on today's video, we're going to look at how this is actually done, right? So let's look at the pipeline first of all. So this is just one of our regular pipelines for multi-view. You see it looks very similar to previous pipelines if you've seen them in our previous videos. It's quite simple. It has a annotation step at the beginning to annotate just activities, which helps us narrow down where to look for keyframes, right? For these keyframes that we're going to annotate manually to guide the rest of the semi-automatic annotation. Again, this is of course just one variant. We can also find those automatically. It really depends on your application. But we find those keyframes, and then again, we go into annotate the actual frames. We propagate the masks that we annotate in the subset of manual frames across the entire video, and then we go to a final adjustment step. Now, we're going to quickly show you how we do the activity annotation, because it has gotten lots of improvements here. So we're going to open the task. And as I said, this is a task meant just for activity annotation, right? And what do activities mean for robots? Well, it just means, for example, we're going to go here, and we have the robot grabs, right? So in this segment, we're going to select it, and we can say, just press Control A, and this is, say, grab, right? But then, if I then let it go, right, and say the robot was moving the arm up until here, more or less, I can double click and quickly click on transport, right? And then I know that then the drop happens, so I can click where it happens and then just say drop or use the shortcut, right? So we have this very fast activity annotation step, so you can quickly get that information in there and get the system started. Now, we're going to go right into what happens after. So once I submit this task, right, the system's going to go and try to find keyframes based on these segments that I just defined. And what you see here is the output of that. So if we'll go back to the pipeline, it found keyframes, but you see now there's these three branches, and each branch corresponds to a different view of the particular experiment, right? So again, we see these three views here, and hence the three different branches. And then we can go and just open a task. And this is going to look very similar to what you've already seen in terms of our entire annotation platform, right? We're going to put this to the side here. I'm going to click on Start the Task and edit the frame, right? And then what you see here is just our annotation platform, the usual, right? Powered by SAM among an array of other models. I'm just going to annotate the robot arm here, right? And then I'm going to say robot, right? And then I'm also going to annotate this cup here, right? And again, just cup. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to stop here, right? Again, there's here indicated the two frames I need to annotate manually out of the 400. So I'm just going to click on Save and Next, and it takes me to the other video. See that it already shows me the two objects I annotated, right? So let's go to robot. We're going to annotate the robot here, right? And then I'm also going to annotate that cup, right, out here. And I'm going to exclude that other cup, right, because we know it's not the right one, right? And I didn't have to enter categories because it already knows which objects I'm annotating. Now, I'm going to save the frame, and I'm going to submit the task. And here's the key. So see, I was annotating in one view, but now it takes me immediately to the task for the next view. And very importantly, once I click on Edit Frame, you'll see the same objects that I was annotating show up here on the side, so I can consistently annotate now my robot, which is more in the sort of first person robot view, right? And I can annotate the same cup, right? And then of course here you can write notes, right? This is say red cup, so you remember which one it was. You can also edit the color if it helps you remembering, right? But then again, we're not gonna do that now. And the idea is that then you would do this with all across all three branches, right? So you annotate a couple frames, and then we go to the final product, which is now the fully annotated video. And as mentioned before, right now you have the activities here on the timeline, and you have the actual video with all of the annotations. But if I go to a different view, turns out the annotations are consistent, right? The same cup, the same object that's this orange cup here is also annotated in the two other views across the entire video. And this is by just annotating, what, like 6 frames? Plus the activities. So this actually takes very little human time, and you get immediately a ton of data to work with that is already spatially aware. And that's all I wanted to tell you today. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and hope to see you on the next one.